You hear it? Wow. Hello, hello. Is that better? Maybe not quite as hot. All right. I think now we're ready. Praise the Lord. I just sense the Lord has some things for us tonight, and I am ready for them. Turn to Proverbs 4. Proverbs 4, verse 20 says, "My son, give attention to my words. Incline your ear to my sayings. Do not let them depart from your eyes. Keep them in the midst of your heart." Is that important? So first you got to give attention. And then don't let it depart. Hold on to it. You know, there's a whole lot of things that you give attention to for a brief moment, and then once you move on, you have moved on from it. You have left it, and did it benefit you? Just think if we retained and knew and operated or lived by everything we had ever learned in our lifetime. But is there anybody out here that believes, I have retained and I live by every good thing that I have heard and I have learned? None of us. We have all heard more instruction, more wisdom, more knowledge. How many of you know God has directly told you some things, but you also know, I had let it slip for a good bit, and then He came and reminded me, and I thought, I knew to be doing that. I knew that, but I had forgot it. You know, I've listened to some messages from our pastor and different people I've listened to that I listened to when I first, got into the things of God, or I listened to 10 years ago, and I've re-pulled it up and listened to it, and I thought, I've never heard that. And I thought, 10 years went by or more. I could have been living by that because I heard it then, but I didn't hold on to it. I let it go. So it says, give attention to my words. That's only the first step. Incline your ear to my saying. Do not let them depart from your eyes. Keep them in the midst of your heart. Cling to them. Remind yourself of them. Meditate on them. Keep it before you. Don't move away from it. And do you know when the best time to put the Word of God, when God speaks something to you and He gives you something according to His Word and by His Word for your life, you hear it and you say, oh, that's just for me. When is the appropriate time to find a way to put that in practice? Immediately. How many of you are like me that if I find a way to put it in practice, to incorporate it and have a doing side to that hearing of the Word, it becomes part of my life? But if I don't find a doing to go with the hearing just doesn't seem to last that long. And so we want to not just attend to it or hear it, we want to attend to it and put it in practice. Because, verse 22, for they are life. They are life to those who find them, and health to all their flesh. But it's not just finding it. It is finding it and keeping it. When you find something of such value, of such treasure, do you let it go easily? Or do you hold on to it? Do you think about it? Do you remember it? You keep that in your mind. So it's not their life for those who just find it. Oh yeah, I found it over there. And you just went on about your business. No, you found it. This was what I've been seeking. This is my answer. And when I find it, I hold fast to it. I cling to it. It is life. It is life. It has the power, the ability to transform everything. Anything that's broken, it brings life back to it. Anything that's not working, it will put life into it and cause it to begin to working. It is life. And it is health to all your flesh. Isaiah 26, verse 3. It says, you will keep him in perfect peace. Who will he keep in perfect peace? The one whose mind is stayed on thee. Because he trusts in you. Trust in the Lord forever. That's a good length of time. Just go ahead and trust in the Lord forever. Keep your mind stayed on him. And that's what he'd been talking to me about for tonight. And he showed me and talked to me about David. Anybody read anything about David? Read about David's life. Did David have the perfect life? Did David always have everything going in the right direction for him? Did David just walk through life with just absolute ease? Or did David have some challenges? Did David have some pressure applied to him? Did David have some things that he had to look past and look beyond in order to get to where God was taking him? David wrote the majority of the Psalms. Do you know a lot of the Psalms? How do a lot of the Psalms start? God, they're after me on every side. God, I am being overtaken. God, you have forsaken me. God, if you don't do something, this is it. I mean, how many Psalms does it talk about how hard things are and how oppressed he is and how the people oppressing him have surrounded him all around and there is no way of escape? How long does that typically go? In those Psalms where he has his little moment, his pity party, but it's not really, he's talking reality. He wasn't wrong in the natural. Did he have the king's army after him? Were they trying to surround him and entrap him and take him captive? So what he's writing, was it wrong? Was he overblowing it? Was he exaggerating? Not in any way. In the natural, all that was absolutely true. And how many Psalms? I don't want to number. A lot. There are many of the Psalms, David starts out talking about his situation. And there really was no way out. And if you looked at the natural, it would look like the Lord had forsaken him. But had the Lord forsaken him? Had God forsaken him and had God's protection left him? No, it had not. But in the moment, he was fixated on the oppression that was coming against him. The challenges of life that had rose up and was sent to defeat him. And then you get somewhere midway through most of those Psalms, and is there a switch? Is there a change? Does he start to remember who his God is? Does he start to remember who is with him, and he is not alone, and God is with me, and God is fighting my battle for me, and God is my protector, and God is my help, And God will deliver me from the hands of the fowler. He will deliver me out of this captivity. He will. And David stirs himself up. And in the end, what is he doing? Praising God and talking faith. They will not overcome me. And he praises God and he worships. Do you know what would have been better? Just to start those Psalms off with just praising God, because I know who's with me. I know whose camp I am in. I know my God is my protector. He is my strong tower. We got Psalms that talk, He's my strong tower. He is my refuge. He is my fortress in which nobody, He is the chick that puts his hand over the chicks and protection. Have you ever forgot? God is your whatever. Because you had stuff. You had life, this life happening. You had a report, a diagnosis. You had, a financial situation. You had a phone call where somebody did not speak too eloquently about you, or that they told you about something somebody else said. And it got you in a place where I kind of forgot what God is to me and who He is to me. Is David the only one that's ever got there? And so what God's been telling me, and this came out of it, was I just had the, TV on, and I went to flip to something else, and He said, do you know, all my people can do that same thing in their mind. He said, just change the channel. If you don't like what's playing, why sit there and watch it hour upon hour upon hour? How many know you can turn your TV on and get some real filth these days? You can turn the TV on and the show be fine. I mean, I see it because I like to watch sports, but the commercials, not so good at all. And so what do you do? I'm watching the game, but God's saying, just as easy as those things come our way, you can either continue to watch and let it in, or you can change the channel and remember put it on the channel you want. Put it on the channel that is bringing life into you. Do not let them depart from your eyes. Don't let them depart from your heart. Keep them in the midst of you. Keep what? His words. His words. This life is always moving. There are always changes going on around us. And the enemy wants to use changes in situations and time frames to try and bring apart fear to you. Try and bring apart apprehension. He wants to get us to forget who God is and what God's promises for you are. And He wants to get us just locked in, fixed on. When I was in college, we would play, I had a group of friends and we played spades, and we would play way too late into the night because we just got into a game. But there would be, the TV would be on because we had roommates that didn't play. And you get into 1, 2, 3 in the morning and you're playing cards, and the stuff on TV is just old reruns and whatever, but we called it bad TV land because the roommate would stay up with us, but he's not playing cards. So he's just fixated on this TV for hour after hour, kind of hearing our conversation, but watching, and he never changed the channel. He would just sit there. We're like, why are you watching that? He said, too lazy to turn the channel. Like, what are you watching? It doesn't matter. Whatever comes on next, that's just what I'm watching. And so we just called it bad TV land. He's just stuck in this. The shows aren't even good. He's not even enjoying it. He's just stuck there. He was in bad TV. Do you know how many people are stuck in bad thought land in their life? They don't change the channel in their mind. Whatever is on the TV, whatever is projecting, They just leave it right there and they just let it play and let it play. And then the next show comes on and they just let it play and they let it play. Who is in control here? They have given away control. They gave the remote to somebody else, and they are not deciding what they are watching. They're just watching whatever comes their way. But go back to David. Did David have to change the channel? He didn't have to, but he had to. If he wanted the victory, if he wanted to be delivered, if he wanted God to be God in this behalf, he couldn't keep talking about all the problems around him, and he couldn't keep magnifying the armies and the oppression and the attack and the hardships he was under. What would have happened if he continued to focus on that and he continued to talk it and he continued to whine to God about, why have you forsaken me? If you say, why have you forsaken me, to God long enough, you know the results you're going to get. The results of forsaken. You're calling that. You are inviting that in. That is what you are creating for your future and your life, is God has forsaken me. And David said it multiple times in multiple songs, but he caught himself. He would be in that moment in bad TV land, looking at the situation, looking at all that had came against him, and there is no way out. I'm surrounded on every side. And thank God, he had it in him, and his relationship with God was to such a degree that he had fixated on this. He had forgot. He didn't keep it in front of his eyes night and day. He had got this on his mind, but there came a moment where he reminded himself, I'm not alone. God hasn't forsaken me. God is my strong tower. He is my fortress. He is my refuge. He is my victory. And he would turn this thing around and make himself happy. And he would shout and he would praise and he would rejoice, and God would deliver him out of all the evil plans of the wicked one. But what about you? How quickly do you change the channel? Or have you got to the place where you don't change it off of the channel that's putting life in you? What did we start with? Give attention to my word. Do not let them depart out of your eyes or out of your midst. Keep them in your heart. Is it possible? Is it possible, even in this evil world, to keep his word first place and front and center? Is it possible? Is it easy? There are things that want to be dramatic, show themselves big, and interrupt your nice life and your daily flow. And it will not just try and beg for your attention, it will demand your attention. Anybody had some of those situations that demanded your attention? Have you ever had a young child that really needed attention? Did they start to demand it if they didn't get it quick enough? But did you have to give them the attention? Because once you did, what did you show that child? It worked. It worked. If I want their attention, I need to come and stand between who they're talking to. I need to shout really loud. I need to throw myself on the ground and have a fit. I need to do something, and it worked. Well, if it works in our life, if when something goes wrong, we forget the promises. We forget who we are in Christ, and we get fixated over there. It worked. The distraction, the attack, it worked. How many of you want to be just set on God's channel? His victory channel. Night and day, I've got the victory already living on the inside of me because I've got the greater one. Is he in you? Does he do marvelous things for you? Has he delivered you? Has he healed you? Has he prospered you? Has he blessed you in every way? Is he going to continue delivering you, healing you, prospering you, blessing you? He will forever. And that's why the enemy's got to get you off that channel. Watching something different and get your attention off of the goodness of God and onto the cruelty and the hardness of this world. Because in that, it will make everybody step out of love. And love never fails. You get into this realm and you will get out of that love realm and that protection. So, are you thankful? David, an example, knew how to change the channel in his own life and showed us how to do it. You can read just psalm after psalm and you can see and you can say, yep, I've been there. Yep, I spent some days over there. I spent some years over there. I've spent some, but David, I see the turning point. I see where everything changed. Right here, right in the middle, that's where it all changed. So if I'm in one of those places where I've been looking at it the wrong way, I've been looking at the wrong thing, I've been focusing on it, I have gave my attention away over here, I can still get it back. I can still get it back because God didn't talk poorly of David. He said, that is a man after my own heart. God didn't penalize him and say, I told you to give attention to my word. Do not let it depart. What were you doing for those days when you were talking about, I forsook you and all this? You let it depart. Why did you let it? He didn't go and berate David. I believe it was God's Spirit that helped David to remind himself. Have you ever had some supernatural help to remind you? You know, I told you again last Sunday when I got into that I went months thinking on the wrong thing. And the enemy's just showing me that channel of destruction and how this is going to turn out. And man, he just makes a new show and it's worse every show. But I was bad TV land day after day. And I would pretend to rejoice. But even when I'm rejoicing, I'm thinking over it. My attention was over there. And it was the Spirit of God to remind me and say it in a way that I understand. You know, God will say it in a way that isn't just totally scriptural every time. You get it. You know, when God tells you and it just shoots up in you. I wish you'd talk to me as much as you talk to him about this. I thought, got it. And all he said was the same thing he told me at the very first. Let patience have its perfect work. You'll be whole, complete, lacking nothing. And he said it again, just exactly the same way. And then he added, and I change not. He said, how many times has that other picture changed? I said, every moment I think about it, it changes worse to worse to worse. He said, I change not. What I told you in the beginning is still how it will be if you will come back and receive my word and let me do what I already have in place to do. And it turned in just a matter of days after 8 8 months, I think, in a matter of days, this thing turned and it was just finished and done, and it worked out so much for my benefit. When the show I'd been watching told me how destructive this thing was. What channel was I watching? Was I giving attention to His Word? He gave me the Word that brought life to the situation, and I cast it off for an evil report, for another report, and I just sat there in bad TV land, watching it day after day after day. It's robbing my joy, it's robbing my peace, it's affecting my love, it's affecting everything I am, and when it starts affecting all the spiritual gifts by the fruit of the Spirit, I'm not partaking of the fruit of the Spirit anymore, so I'm not replenishing my life. Do you know what you get? Wore out, weak, tired, inviting sickness to come in. And you do that long enough, and you'll die early. Wasn't God's will. He said, give attention to my Word. Turn over to the Victory Channel, because my Word is life, and my Word is victory. And Jesus has already redeemed you from everything the enemy is trying to steal from you. We have it all. Turn to John 5. This kind of surprised me when I believe I heard from him and he spoke to me. I've never seen this passage quite this way. John 5, verse 1. We won't read the whole thing. But if you want, you could start there. We're just going to skim through and skip down. But anybody know the lame man at the pool of Bethesda? Why was he at the pool of Bethesda? Wanting to get healed. Who else was at the pool of Bethesda during this time? And many others that were sick, lame, maimed, had great illnesses going on in their life. They were under the porches around this pool of Bethesda. Why? What happened at a certain time of the year? The angel came and stirred the water, and who got healed? The first one in received a supernatural healing. So this man was at the pool during this time, waiting for the water to be stirred, because the first one in gets healed, and he had been lame for quite some time. But was he expectant? Did he expect to leave healed that day? He was going through motions, but was he attentive to the Word? I told you, I'm thinking if I'm paralyzed, if I'm lame, if I really want my healing, and I know as soon as that water's turned, it's the first one in, where would you plant yourself? I would be just an eighth of a rotation from falling into the water. I would be twisted where I'm having to hold myself back, where all I have to do is let go and I fall in. I don't think he was. He was off in the porch, not even right. Well, you're lame, and if you don't have anybody there to assist you in, why are you there? You're not there with the expectancy that I'm going to be the first one in. He was there under religious tradition, not really expecting a healing to come, but understood the idea of it was, there's a chance for healing in this place today. What's that? I wish I could. I wish God would. I wish somehow, some way. Has Jesus already took the stripes? Has He already made us healed and whole? Is it all right and the children's bread? But just like this man, it's been done. The stirring, it's that time. He came to it, but he really wasn't believing to be. And you know that because Jesus, by the Spirit, was zeroed in on this man. Out of all of them there, Jesus zeroes into this man and came and asked him a question. And it was the easiest question that's ever been asked in the history of this world to get the right answer. Yet this man still got it wrong. Isn't that amazing? Jesus' question, verse 6, do you want to be made well? Is that not the easiest question? And it was a one-word answer. And it should have just spewed out of his mouth because, duh, I'm here. I came because somebody's getting healed and I want it to be me. But what was his immediate answer? Do you know your immediate answer usually is what is the abundance of your heart? Before you have time to calculate and think, oh, I should have answered it this way. What you just blurt out is typically what you truly believe without religiously thinking about how I should respond. What was his answer? I have nobody to put me in the water when the water is stirred. That is what was already in his mind, and that tells you what channel he is watching. He is watching the I Can't network. And he's been watching it for some time now. Still going through motions, still coming to church, still doing this, still going, with no expectation their life is going to change. Do you know how many people have not missed a church service in 20 years of their life, and they still come not expecting anything to change in their life? And that might be the saddest thing you could ever have, that you have got into the flow of religion to the degree that you come and you do all the things with no expectation of the promises of God. Not us. Not us. We are not tuning into the I Can't network. I mean, you hear people, you don't have to go out of your way to hear people that you know are faithful in their church. They are faithful givers in their church. They show up and volunteer at this and they volunteer at that and they do all these works. But you just hear them talk about, oh, my sickness here, my bad knee, my blood pressure, my this, my that. And they just talk about, this is life. Never even having a thought. God is my healer. God is my healer. This is but for a moment. God has not forsaken me, and He will not forsake me, and He will quicken this mortal body, and He will cause it to be strong. He will cause it to return to health. He will fix that bum knee. He will fix my high blood pressure. He is, because Jesus did. And He is my healer. But you rarely hear Him talk about God's my healer. But you can be around people. In fact, we're going to have dinner after church Sunday. And I bet you could eavesdrop on a conversation or two and hear about how bad some things in their life are going. What channel are they tuned into? On a regular basis. That even in church fellowship, we just talk about what's not right in our life and what's going on. And not in a sense of just letting you know, I'm walking through this right now. And Rex, I know you are a man of faith. I'm asking you to agree with me. Pray with me. Because it's not staying this way. But I got moments where I'm a little weak. Will you stand with me? Will you pray with me? That's different than just telling you how bad life is. All the hard things that's going. Is it different? And this man, I got nobody to put me in. Do you want to be healed? Do you want to be made well? He didn't even say yes. He said, I don't got anybody to put me in. That's not going to happen. The Can't network. God said it to me this way. Just turn over to the CAN network. and leave it there. C-A-N. C-A-N. No, that's what came out there. He said, the CNN tells you every reason it won't work, and it can't work, and all the problems going on with today. That's CNN. But he said C-A-N. Turn the C-A-N, the CAN network. Go ahead and turn it over to the CAN network, because I am a I can God. And he wants us to lock in there. And he said, and don't change the channel back. Leave it there. But what he said through this, Jesus, and this is what I'd never seen, and if you don't see it that way, that's fine. But he took me to the, and he said, on the CAN network. And so it may have been me that I thought CNN, but I did. I thought CNN, yeah, he said all the reasons I can't, all the reasons this is impossible, all the reason, that Trump's terrible and this won't work and whatever. I mean, that's all you're going to hear. Can't, terrible, bad, everything's evil, United States terrible, whatever, can't. It's all the bad news. All the bad news. I'm not saying Fox is even great. I'm just saying all news is going to be bleh, one way or another, most of it. But his news, the CAN network. And he said, Jesus came with a correction. And I never seen it that way. And he said, sometimes, and he was talking to me, sometimes you need my correction to get you off the CAN network and get you back over on the CAN network, the CAN. And he said, and I looked at it and I thought, he did. In a sense, he came with a correction to help get him off the CAN network and get him over onto the CAN, because he said, would you like to be made well? And he said, well, nobody's here to put me in. I'll never be the first one in. This is never going to happen. It is what it is. I'll just be this way forever. And he said, take up your bed, arise and walk. He said, if you won't change the channel yourself, I will help you change it. And if you will hear me and you will leave it there, you will soon walk out of this place. Has God ever, by the Spirit, helped you through a correction to get off the can't and back onto the can? And did you need it? Because without that correction, you were going to stay on the can't network. And who knows how long you were going to let it play, until you had came to the place where you had zero expectation that it would ever change. In one word. And now I see in Jesus grabbing the remote from this man's hand and saying, I'm sick of this show. Click. Through one word, he clicked it and he said, you can. You can today, and you don't even have to get into the water and get wet. Arise. Arise. Take up your mat or your bed and walk. And that man heard the report of the Lord, heard the report from the Victory Channel, the great CAN network, and he said, I like this station better. I like this report better. That thing had robbed me for all these years, but I heard one word of life. Didn't his word? His word is life to those who find it, and health to all their flesh. And when he changed over to the CAN, he could arise and he could walk. Is it easy in the moment, though? I don't want to say it's ever easy, because the enemy is good at what he does. We don't want to give him too much credit, but we can give him credit. He is persistent, and he never wants to quit. You've got to jump on it. And it's best to jump on it when it first comes on before you watch. Have you ever watched a show too long that you thought was terrible at the start? Not like it was filthy. It just was slow. It was boring. And it never picked up. But you're like, well, I'm over halfway in. I kind of got to see how this finishes up. And you just keep watching it anyway. Jump on it quickly. Jump on it as soon as you say, this isn't what I want to watch. This is wrong. This is trash. This is a bad report. Jump on it immediately and get back over to His Word that produces life. He talked to us in prayer, and we brought it up Sunday or 2 Sundays ago. And I'd never seen it. You know, I'm pretty big on, it is finished. I'm really big on, it is finished. Jesus is not coming back to redo it again so you can walk in your blessings and your health and your spiritual, promises. And it is finished. It is done. It is for you, me and you to take right now, walk in, live in, and have. And we don't need to be asking God to do more and do, God, you've got to, God, you've got to, God, I need you, I need you. David needed to do that because it wasn't finished. But we live on the other side of the cross. We live on the finished work side. We live on the complete side. And so I kind of struggled without knowing I struggled because it is finished. I'm not waiting on God to heal me. He already healed me. I'm not waiting on God to do something else. He already did it all. If it wasn't done already, I don't have any right to get it. And it's all been done. But then in prayer, a few weeks ago, he talked to us about just coming and presenting yourself before the healer on a regular basis. And he took me, I'm not a car guy at all, but he took me to the automotive and he said, isn't it better to bring your vehicle in for an oil change before you run it totally dry of oil and blow up the engine? He said, it's a lot less maintenance and work to do an oil change versus an engine replacement. Take it for routine inspections and routine checkups. And he said, do that by just coming intentionally and presenting yourself in front of the healer. Just come, but the healer's not out here. The healer is in here. God, I am coming to you as my healer. You are the great healer. And you have already promised healing and completed healing through Jesus, but I'm just coming for my inspection. I'm coming before you today, and I'm asking you, do a walkthrough, do a look through, check over everything. And if there's anything out of line, if there's any level that's inaccurate and needs to be adjusted, Father, you just adjust that right now. Because I call you my healer. And I receive from my healer. And right now, you are healing. You are checking. You are going through this body with a fine comb, looking at everything. You are my healer. And healing is working now. Yeah, but I don't think anything's wrong. I don't feel bad. That's the good time to do it. Good time to get inspected. And if you do it often, you catch things before it ever really even gets where it hurts. You just live strong. You live in good working condition all the days of your life. And he was talking about the NASCAR crew. And they come in for tire changes, preferably before the tires blow out. Because if you got a tire that blows out at 100 and some miles an hour, you're probably not finishing the race. That's why they have it on a strict count. They know how long that tire is going to last, and they get in before the tires wore out. And while they're in there, they top off all the gas, they redo all the aerodynamics of the wings and everything, and 7 seconds or less, they are back on the road. But you put that thing into the wall, you blow a tire out and it tears up the fender, you may make it to the pit road. You're not getting out in 7 seconds. You have lost the race because you pushed it too far. And I had just never done this and never even thought of doing this because Jesus already did it, so I call myself healed. And that's good. But I sensed in my spirit that day, this is right. To present ourselves before the healer on a regular basis and just ask of him to just go ahead and go through my body and just do any adjustments and tweaking that you need to do to keep this in prime working order. And that way, the other thing it does that I didn't see that day is the more often you come before the healer, what's on your mind? He is my healer. The Lord is my healer. What if we do this every morning? We wake up and we just, Lord, I just come before the healer today. You will get so healer-minded. God is my healer, that the first sign of anything, no, my healer already has looked through this. My healer has already made that. I have a healer. My God is Jesus is my healer. But too many times, have you went days with something not feeling right, not working right, and you just kind of put up with, oh, that's kind of strange. I don't know where this happened. I must have slept wrong. And we start immediately making excuses for why this could be. Or am I the only one? That immediately I find a reason, a justification for why this doesn't feel right, why I'm not feeling well, why I'm low on energy, why I'm this or that, why, I don't, whatever. There's all kinds of, and we always have a reason. But I don't think we came up with that reason on our own. I think it was fed to us from the Cant Network, trying to get us to switch the channel off of the healer and onto, I don't feel well. What is wrong with my body? And now once we get on the what is wrong with my body game show, and we stay on that because it's really interesting. Hey, what kind of prize is behind door number 1? I mean, hey, maybe this is something that's going to turn into this. And maybe now that I have this, it's going to turn into this. And before long, I'll be in a wheelchair. And before long, I'll be in the nursing home. And before long, I'll be dead. I mean, stay on that channel long enough, and it will tell you this isn't anything minor. This is major. Well, I'm not saying we shouldn't be ostriches, stick our head in the sand, but we have a healer. We have a healer. We should be so healer conscious and so healer aware that when something doesn't feel right, we don't go and start self-diagnosing and justifying, rationalizing why I don't feel well. We say that is unacceptable when I got a God like my God. And when Jesus has already bore the stripes, I refuse to let this pain persist day after day. Oh, it's my pillow. Oh, it's my mattress. Do you know how many mattresses have been sold? When we could have just said, Lord, I lay myself before you. Father, and whatever is going on in my lower back, my upper back, my hips, Father, I'm not making an excuse it's the mattress unless you tell me it's the mattress. That's not the problem. Father, I lay myself before, and I just say, you are the healer. Touch this body. Do a work in this body. Restore this body because there is pain symptoms showing up in this body. And I'm not looking to self-diagnose. I'm looking for you, the healer, to give me my diagnosis and my answer and go to work on my behalf. And there are times it is something we're doing. And the healer, the great physician, will tell you, maybe it is the mattress. Get a new mattress, get a new pillow, and you get it and you think, oh, that's it. But not just figuring out on your own. You let him tell you. You let him give you the prescription and you just go fill it. But the enemy all the time is trying to steal your remote. He does not like the CAN network. He despises it. All he wants is you to stay on CNN or the great Cant network that gets you in the place of this man that comes to the place every year, and his answer is, I'll never get healed. Coming to church every Sunday, I'll live with this forever. Not even entertaining an idea of overcoming, of getting the victory. Is that okay? God loves you. God loves me. But I don't think it pleases him that we've closed the door on whole health and wholeness and soundness to our body. Didn't he say it is life to those who find it and health to how much of your flesh? All your flesh. But we have to stay and be attentive to his word. And you have to make yourself stay on the right channel, or you will just inevitably drift over and spend most of your day thinking on what's not right, what's not working, and what I can't do now because of the situation I'm in. And when you get over there, are you getting closer to your answer, or are you getting farther from your answer? So I want to we can play it through a couple times if you want. Brother Moore has a song, Jesus is my healer. And I want us, because he told us at prayer that day, to intentionally present yourself in front of the great healer. Maybe it's not physical healing you need, but if there's something that you say, yeah, I've been on the Cant network in that area. I've been just, I've been focused, meditating, thinking on what's not working, why it's not working, and I've really gave up on the fact that I ever could do that. Or if it is, so maybe you need protection, maybe you need deliverance, maybe you need, whatever it may be, but maybe you need. And maybe you feel great today. You said, I really, really, really like to feel good. I'm going to take just a little time to just get in front of the healer. And Lord, just sustain me. Keep me. I feel so strong. I feel so healthy. I'm presenting myself to you just for a refill, a work, that I may stay feeling great, strong. Because what he said, why wait till you start not feeling well to do this? The best time is when everything's working. It doesn't take too long. So I'm going to play that. And I just want us to focus on him. Just entirely focus on him. But not like he's out here. Where is he? He is already in you. He is so close. And I want the greater one that lives inside of me. And I want you, if there's an area where you said, yep, I've been on that Cant network in this area involving this issue or this, I want you, whether you grab it and you do one of those, I am changing the channel on that. Whether you're old school and you just do the knob, I want you to purposely switch the channel. Get off the Cant and get fully over into the CAN network. Because with him, all things are possible if I will just believe. And he's here tonight to encourage you, to speak to you, to bring you over the hump where you know, I can. I can pick up my mat and I will walk. I can do that thing that for some time now I had kind of gave up on and just said, there's just no way. I can't. Nope, you're switching the channel. And from this moment on, I can. With God's help, His grace, His wisdom, I can. Hallelujah. I'll turn that, and I just want you just to enter in to His presence.